Okay, let's go. We are going to do the Leetcode to sum question, not doing using the brute force method, but using an optimized method. So let's read the question. It says, given an array of integers, nums, and an integer target, return indices of the two numbers such that they add up to the target. So we have a nums and then we have the target. If you add the nums and the target, sorry, if you add the two nums, it give you the target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution. Okay, let's assume that each input of nums has exactly one solution, and you may not use the same element twice. You cannot use the same element twice in an array. You can return the answer in any order. So for example, we have an array here, which is 2, 7, 11, 15, and the target we are looking for is 9. So you find that the output is 0 and 1. That's because when you take 2 plus 7, that gives you 9, but you're not looking for the values. We are looking for the indices of the values. So the index of 2 is 0, the index of 7 is 1. Let's look at this one. We have 3, 2, 4, and the target is 6. When you look at the output, it's given us 1, 2, because 2 plus 4, that gives us 6. But what we are actually looking for is not the number, it is the index of the number, right? Okay. So I believe you get the gist of it. So let's just code it out. So first thing I believe we have to do is we'll have to form something that is called a hash map. Okay, we'll have to form a hash map, and a hash map is just the way we take the value to be the index and the index to be the value, like we shift things around. So for example, here we have nums, which is an array of 2, 7, 11, and 15. So 2, 7, 11, and 15 are the values, and the indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So what we are going to form is something like this. We're going to form now a hash, which is going to have now the value as the index and the index as the value. So the index is going to be 2, which is position 0, and then we're going to have 7, which is position 1, and then we're going to have the other one is 11, which is position 2, which is position 2, and we are going to have 15, which is position 3, which is position 3. So something similar to this. Okay, once we have that, probably it once. Okay, this is just for visual purposes. Once we have this, the next thing we are going to do now is let's jump into our code. Okay, and I'll explain the code as we go. So this is our hash. This is the thing that we want to form. Okay, let's just call it a hash. Oh, put it a variable. So what you're going to do now is, let's say we want to form the hash, right? We're going to start off by a constant called hash, and you're going to start it off by an empty object. Okay, then we are going to loop over the array. I'll explain it in a while. So we let I is equals to 0. It starts at index 0. I is equals to 0. Then we let I is less than nums.length. Then I incrementing one by one, right? So what do? We open it up and we now form the hash map. Okay, now we want to form the hash map. So how do we form the hash map? First of all, let's get the value. Okay, how do we get the value of the array? We say that let value, let value is equals to the array at a particular index. Okay, value is equals to nums I. So that's how we get the value. Then we say now we want to form the hash. How do we form the hash? The hash is going to be value is equals to I. Now let me explain this logic. Okay, so we have iterated over the array. Okay, after iterating over the array, we have said each value is going to be given by the array at its current position. Okay, then we say that hash value, remember value is the actual number, the 2, the 7, the 11, the 15. Okay, so hash the value is going to be equal to the index, right? And when we do that, we form something like this. Let me put this down. So once we do hash the value is equals to the index, we are going to form a hash, something like this. So that's what we are going to get. Okay, after we do that, we go to our second for loop. So remember, this is not a loop within a loop, so it's not like it's n to power 2 in time complexity. So we say let I is equals to 0, then I less than nums dot length, then we have I plus plus. Okay, I'll explain in a few. So we say we want to form a potential key. Let me show you how we form the potential key and why it's important. So we're going to say potential key. What is a potential key? Potential key is given by getting the target, which is usually given in the function target minus the nums at I. Okay, so this is the potential key. So how do we get the potential key? The potential key is given by, remember, our target is a value plus another value in the array, right? So we say when we are at a particular value, then we add another potential key, we will get the target, right? But the potential key is given by now the target minus the value that we are at in. Okay, the potential key is given by the target we are looking for minus the current value we are at in. Because we have nums here, nums at position index gives us the potential key. For example, let's take 11. If our value is 11, then potential key is going to be what? Potential key is going to be -2 because we're looking for value 9. Okay, if we are at position 15, okay, if nums I is 15, then potential key is going to be -6 because target is 9. Okay, so for example here now, after we know how we're going to look for the potential key, we say now if this potential key now exists, and remember we're looking for the potential key in the hash, not in the array. Okay, we're going to say if we take the hash at potential key. So what does this tell us? Let me just finish the code. If hash at potential key and hash at potential key is not equal to I, then we do something. Okay, let me just call the curly braces. So what we are saying here is that if we take our hash map, okay, if we take our hash map and at position potential key, remember position potential key is given by getting the target minus nums I. So we're saying if this thing exists, okay, we have a hash. For example, here we are at position 2. What will be the potential key? Potential key will be target 9 minus nums I. Nums I is at nums 0 is 7 now, potential key, okay? So if hash, we take our hash, okay, at potential key 7, which means if hash potential key 7 exists, that's what it actually means. Because you find, for example, if we are to take 11, okay, the potential key is going to be -2. There is no potential key here that is of -2. There is no key of -2. But if we take 2, we know our potential key is going to be 7. So potential key here is 7, so it exists. So if a hash at potential key exists and the hash at potential key, the key in the hashes is not checking itself, okay, is not at the current position. So for example here, if we were to do like 2, 7, 11, 15 as we are doing here, and then the target was 4, you know, if we come at position 0, we come at position 2 here, okay, 2, 0, and then we repeat the same thing, we are going to get the value 4, and that's not what we want, okay? So we are saying it's not checking itself, okay? If these two conditions exist, so we are going to return, okay, the values that we actually want. So we are going to return the first value, which is current position I, okay, and then the second value is going to be hash potential key, okay. So what does this mean? This means that once we find that this statement is true and it exists, okay, we are going to return I. I is currently what? Is currently the index that we are at in, because we are looking at indexes, okay? The other thing is the second value, which is hash. You remember this was the hash we formed here, okay? Hash at potential key. Potential key exists, it's 7. Hash at 7 is going to give us current index 1. So it's going to give us 0 and 1, okay? Let's see if it's going to run. Let me remove this hash because it's not part of the code. Let's run it. It's taking its time. I don't know why. Okay, it's accepted. Let me submit it. My net is kind of slow. So it's accepted and it has passed. So thank you for watching. See you in the next one.